Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's show podcast. Today, it's a very important day. It is the 19th of December, and of course, we're only a few days away now from Christmas. Well, you say that about 6 days away, 5, 6 days away. Next Wednesday is the big day, Christmas Day. So I thought I'd come on here tonight. We're going to do a Christmas special. So yes, everyone, Merry Christmas to everyone. In of course 5 days time. But obviously, I hope everyone's enjoying. The very soon to be obviously the school holidays. Some people have probably already broken up now. And I thought we'll bring a bit of festive cheer to the podcast tonight. Some festive stories, including a very important song about the government and much more as well. I'm joined by late participants Zach Chambers from All Lace News. Hello, Zach.
Hello, Charlie. Hello.
Right, whilst we're on the subject of the government, I'm going to get on with the government now. So Keir Starmer song about freezing pensioners to this winter could be reaching number one. Apparently, it had a huge amount of petition votes. Obviously, this comes as the Prime Minister could regret facing his winter fuel payment measure, which will mean that many thousands of pensioners will freeze to death this winter. Now, obviously, the winter fuel payment was axed according to a vote, even though the Labour Party conference apparently had a split vote over this. And the song has kind of followed the Lonely This Christmas by Mud vibes and pretty much slates the Prime Minister, claiming that he's in a warm home whilst pensioners are left freezing and without a key winter fuel payment this winter. Those especially who got dementia, also Alzheimer's, any vulnerable underlying health conditions are going to be severely affected by this. And many people have hit out at the government over this. Zach, what do you make to this song? As a Labour Party supporter yourself, what do you make to this song, and does it cringe you?
I guess it's no different to when the Wicked Witch is Dead went to number one, and there was outrage over that from staunch Conservatives. I have to say, look, I okay, fine, parody song look, it's very funny, ha 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 ha. Again and again, it's not the general public. These parody songs. I know they like probably go to number one because someone's probably spamming them to download it and all that sort of thing as well. But yeah, it might be a bit of a laugh. I mean, it's quite obviously quite a serious matter. The winter fuel stuff as well, and I can understand why sort of people are animated over it, and in many ways as well. But I have to say that there are certain people that are complaining that the BBC are not playing this sort of thing. Like you are the same people that complained when The Wicked Witch is Dead went to number one, and that you know that shouldn't be played at all. So I don't know why these lot are advocating for playing that just because it's probably some anti-Labour song. Then do it. Complain about that going to number one and not well, and then not getting it played in full. For the record, obviously, The Wicked Witch did not get a full play on Radio One when that went to number one for understandable reasons. So we're going to have to apply the same logic here when it comes to that. If it does get to the charts, I mean, yeah, it probably is good on the iTunes chart, but with Spotify and streaming these days, it is very unlikely to actually go to number one. Because we're full of streaming and everything like that as well. And there are far more festive, positive songs to listen to than that as well. I mean, it might be for a bit of a laugh, fair enough, but at the end of the day, it's not going to go to number one. I mean, it's on number one iTunes chart, but it has reached at some point, but on the official chart, no, it's gone. Yeah, it's not really anywhere to be seen because sort of nobody has took that much of an interest. None of the streamers have took that much of an interest in it. Well, people were streaming it, not censorship or anything like that as well, and all that sort of thing as well. So, yeah, I'd be honest, I haven't really listened to the song in full. I don't really know. I don't know because I haven't really listened to the song in full. I've heard about 10 to 15-second clip from it. I didn't really think much of it, really, to be fair. When I listened to it, and yeah, and you expect me not to. So yeah, I mean, this is such a such a festive, happy gathering that we're talking about. Keir Starmer freezing the pensioners. Apparently, that's what the artist says in that. But yeah, I suppose you could say that Keir Starmer may be going after some certain demographic over the fact that this Winterfield decision. Then there's the waspy stuff as well, and there's obviously the farmers. Could be could be something, could be not, but it might be. Yeah, I just old people are not getting luck now. So they've obviously been used to 14 years of getting everything nice and cozy for the Conservatives and getting everything for free. Now that when it comes to one of them, they're and finally they're targeting something else that they don't like it. They couldn't get the freebies that they wanted to get to. So yeah, I have to say, it's not doesn't really bother me. I mean, it's incredible. It's a bit bizarre to listen to, I must say, for based on that 15-second clip I heard. But yeah, they seem to like it. Some of the people, but it's definitely not going to go an official #1. It might go spot. It's gone Spotify. I'm not iTunes #1, but on terms of the actual proper charty stuff, it's not gone official #1 at any point. So yeah, I don't think it will either.
This song is certainly interesting. I'll have a listen to this right now. See if you get the vibe with this one. This is a song about the government. I mean, this is actually quite cringy for Labour votes. Just have a listen to this quickly.
I wish tears could heat my home. What can I do without you? I've got no place to go. It'll be freezing this Christmas without fuel at home. It'll be freezing this Christmas while Keir Starmer's warm. It'll be cold, so cold without fuel at home. This Christmas, Rachel Reeves is a fraud. It'll be cold, so cold without fuel at home. This Christmas.
We inherited a situation where there was a £22 billion black hole in the public finances.
Do you remember last year when Rishi was here? We never thought there'd be an end. And I remember looking at you then. And I remember thinking that next Christmas things won't be this bad for us. Darling, this year things are even worse. And we really need to be take care. It'll be freezing this Christmas without fuel at home. It'll be freezing this Christmas while Keir Starmer's warm. It'll be cold, so cold.
Please take this song to #1. Whoever's wrote it. Whoever wrote this song, honestly. So Keir Starmer, 2-tier Keir. Oh, Rachel Reeves is a fraud. Oh, wow. Do you know what? I actually think it's funny. Honestly, Zach, now you've listened to it, what's your take on it?
I'll give it one bit of good positive note. At least the production is catchy. I can't say the rest about the limits. 2 Kia apparently. we've heard all that nonsense before. Rachel Reed wants to freeze the pensioners. Yeah, I mean, I have more positive things to say about the production of the song than I actually do about the song itself. So I'll leave it at that.
Well, that's interesting, and of course, Starmer certainly had a bit of a difficult, busy week with when it comes to wasabi and whatever. So, yeah, not ideal in that fact. Now, moving on to some news now, which I want to talk about. We are going to obviously try and keep it festive themed as well. Now, one bit of news I want to talk about is this. I want to talk about this. It's a French rape survivor. Jalisi Pellicot's ex-husband has been jailed for 20 years after claiming that drugging and raping her and inviting dozens of strangers around for abuse over a decade. The 72-year-old was found guilty of all charges by a judge in Avignon, southern France, and cried in court and was sentenced to maximum term. He was on trial with 50 other men who were found guilty of at least one charge. I mean, Zach, I've not really heard much about this story, but it seems like a major breakthrough for this rape trial here.
I mean, it is an astonishing story today that came out. So the woman in question is Jill. Oh, that's fine. That's all right. When that happens, that's good stuff there. Jilcy, if I pronounce her name right, Jilcy Helicott Coot, an extraordinary woman as well. The ex-husband has been sentenced to 20 years in prison. That's the maximum sentence you can get in France as well. After drugging and raping her and inviting dozens of strangers to also abuse her over nearly a decade. Utterly stunning stuff, really. This has been allowed to happen and continue going on in that form. But yeah, it's an utterly incredible, an utterly wowzer trial, if we're going to put it that way. With what's happened and what she'd been involved with. The ex-husband was on trial. Not only was he on trial, there was 50 other men on trial. All were found guilty of at least one charge, although their jail terms were deemed less than what prosecutors demanded. Miss Pellicot and her children looked emotionless after verdicts were read out, occasionally glancing at the defendant and resting their head against the wall. It's brought an end to France's largest ever rape trial, which was pretty stunning as well. In a large banner, there was protest in the road saying "Thank you, guilty," as well. It was just it's an utterly surreal trial as well. And yeah, 20 years. This brave woman has utterly extraordinated the world, really, with her courage and her determination to get justice for what was right in there as well. And yeah, it was quite a really stunning, really an awful story that we watched as a woman. 50 men used and abused her with sexual assault charges, rapes, and everything like that as well. And today we finally got a 20-year jail sentence verdict for the ex-husband, the maximum that you can get in France. But I think this is obviously a critical factor as well, because there are different rules in France about consenting to any sign of sexual action with another person. I'm surprised that they do that. I mean, it's not really fitting. I think this trial has proven that those rules are not fit for a modern democracy, and they need to be updated to what we really know the definition of consent is. And I'm just surprised that it's still in place, and I really am. But yeah, it's all credit to this woman. I think she's done a just tremendous job holding it all. And she has battled through many men that have used her, abused her, and have now got the justice that she needs. She's an incredible woman.
That's the news on that rape trial there as well. But I'm sure we'll be keeping you updated as well on that news. Now, I want to talk about this, Zach. Now, this is important, I think, to kind of highlight on the podcast tonight. I want to talk about something important regarding world news now, because actually no, staying with France, I just wanted to quickly mention this. There has been, whilst we're on the subject of that, there has been a new prime minister, because their previous one resigned over something. I think he lost the vote of no confidence, and if I'm correct, he was an ex-EU commissioner. If I'm correct, I think it was Michel Barnier or someone.
Yeah, I mean,
And now they've got a new person in charge who doesn't really, I don't want to say doesn't really know what he's doing, but I mean, Zach, the French government are in all sorts of turmoil at the moment, aren't they?
oh yeah, they're in a bit of a mess really, because the reason why they're in a mess is because they failed to pass a budget, and it got struck down in a confidence vote. The French Prime Minister Michel Barnier's last reign um, of French Prime Minister lasted shorter than his Brexit negotiation in the United Kingdom. That's just a fact. I mean, that's just blatantly obvious. But yeah, Michel Barnier was took down. No confidence vote. He had to resign as Prime Minister. And then it was just a case of waiting for the next Prime Minister to be named by Emmanuel Macron, and he decided to go for Francis Bayrou. I'm looking up who he is. He looks just as old as Michel Barnier. I mean, that's interesting. He looks very interested. So yeah, Francis Bayrou. He served as prime minister. He has presided of the European Democratic Party since 2004, and the Democratic Movement since 2007. He's a centrist as well. He's serving as prime minister. He's part of the Democratic Movement Party as well. He's a key ally of Emmanuel Macron as well. So yeah, no, he's been named the prime minister. Now his job is to get a budget through Parliament as well, and I think what they're hoping to do is get a budget ready by mid-February, so that can be passed as well. The French PM himself wants to name a new actual government by Christmas, so it's all in place by then, and I think that's pretty sensible as well, because I think what the French really need now is stability after they lost the no confidence vote. And yeah, what it needs is a sense of stability, and something where they're not running around changing prime ministers. I mean, obviously, Marine Le Pen's party voted Michel Barnier down. All the other parties that was part of winning the parliament voted Michel Barnier down. And yeah, France is still in a bit of a mess, and we now know this week. I should mention it's a bit of a chaotic month at the moment in terms of what's going on inside European politics at the moment. I mean, the key allies of like our G7 allies are not very stable at the moment. I mean, you got Justin Trudeau in Canada, whose MPs are resistant up to him at the moment. I mean, they're getting resistance.
Yeah, one of his ministers resigned the other day, I think.
Yeah, it was his finance minister that resigned the other day, and was rumored to be replaced by the former ex-Bank of England Governor Mark Carney, who's actually advising the Trudeau government at the moment. But that doesn't appear to have paid off at this stage. Then you've got as well, obviously, the situation of France. And then Germany, where they're going to be going to the polls in February, because Olaf Scholz has lost a no confidence vote as well, comfortably lost that one as well. And they're going to go to the polls in February, where this Christian Democratic Union Party, you think are the favourite, but then you got the Alternative for Germany party, the hard right anti-immigration party, that are really rising at the moment in terms of their support as well. So yeah, it is a Europe at the moment with the G7 allies is not a stable place at the moment. There's a lot of uncertainty going on in the world in terms of more nationalist hardline parties that are coming into that are on the rise, and the demographics of these people that are supporting them, and then due to social media, are changing as well. So yeah, that there's a lot going on at the moment in European politics.
There's certainly a lot, and I think as well this will have obviously implications with the policies around like geopolitical relations with Ukraine and with obviously with what's happening in the Middle East. And look, I'm not going to comment on that, but obviously these will have probably changes to a lot of stuff. So comment down below, guys, what you make to this as well. Now, Zach, before we move on and do the actual festive content tonight, Reform UK. Actually, speaking of that, a couple of things I want to touch on here in the UK. Reform UK's Nigel Farage went to have a meeting with Elon Musk the other day.
Typical.
Which, I mean, clearly there's an interesting vibes about that. And also, GB News have had yet another presenting shake-up where Mark Dolan's gone. And also, Ben Leo's now doing a weekend show. And Isabel Webster's gone as well. Zach, what's your assessment from the UK's news this week regarding them stories?
Well, what I take from that, Charlie, first of all, let's talk about the Elon Musk stuff. It's almost like he's the shadow government at the moment. He's basically the unelected bureaucrat running the country right there at the moment in terms of Donald Trump's operations and how he's influencing that as well. And yet there's no funding deal. The government might shut down tomorrow, depending if they do not get a funding deal passed. At the moment, we could be America could be going on to some financial issues, which obviously isn't great, but that's their own doing, problem of their own doing, and you get what you get with them, I'm afraid, and the consequences around it. But yeah, you get that, and then there's the meeting with Nigel Farage and Nick Candy, the finance reform's biggest now donor, and they had conversations about whether Elon Musk was going to donate to Reform Party. They were talking about 1 million, 20 million, potentially as well. Elon Musk's money going into that Reform UK. I mean, I have a huge issue with that, and I take big issue because once again, it's foreign interference in times of a party. I mean, yeah, Elon Musk complained about Labour Party sending campaigners to campaign for a Democrat, calling it illegal, but then is happy to potentially slodge a load of money into a UK party to influence them. I have an issue with that. I have a big issue. If that was, say, Labour Party and the unions funding them from abroad and everything like that, there'd be outrage. But when it comes to Elon Musk, there's no people of the word. I mean, he's just being bankrolled by a foreigner, really. And I just think it's just completely unacceptable. We should not. It should be neither ways. Labour or any lefty party should not receive foreign funding there, and nor should any right-wing party. That's not reform. That's corruption. I think if that's the case, that Elon Musk does do ahead of that as well. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous, and I don't think that people should be allowed to get away with wear that sort of thing as well. Speaking of people getting away with things or actually being released into the wildness, GB News had another schedule shake up as well. I'll give you a little bit of a reminder of some of the changes. Andrew Doyle no longer hosting Free Speech Nation. He left. He decided to leave on his own terms, as I understand that one, because he's doing some other projects in America now. But he will be occasional contributor to GB News when possible. I think that he left on his own terms. There are two people, though, that did not leave on their own terms, and that's Mark Dolan, number one. He put out a statement yesterday, a very brief statement, on saying that he'd been relieved of his duties. I have to say that's very surprising. And the other one I think that's gone is Isabel Webster, every morning. She's been released as well as part of the changes, which suggests to me that the budget for her has got a bit too high. But yeah, some of the changes are gone. Jacob Reed they obviously paid him too much as well because he's down 2 days a week as well. With Matt Goodwin taking Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in the 8 p.m. slot. Well, Matthew Goodwin's gone down the tank in the recent years, gone from less of a pollster to more of a right-wing hack, if anything. So he'll fit quite well on GB News and their prime time slots. The other one as well, obviously, Ellie Costello goes to 5 days a week on breakfast now. Probably a cheaper option. Josh Howie is the new presenter of Free Speech Nation at 7 to 9 p.m. as well. And the other one that's also changed as well is Ben Leo's got his own show in replacing Mark Dolan from Saturday and Sunday 9 to 11 as well. That's one of the other significant changes that's been made. So I think what's happened here, Charlie, is there's been a load of
Miriam
cost
Cates is on
cutting.
there as well. The ex-Conservative.
Oh yeah, Miriam Cates is going to be on as a Friday presenter now, and it's going to be covering over Christmas as well and other slots when required. But yeah, I think what's happened, Charlie, is that there's been a load of budget cuts at GB News or cost cutting, and they need to find the money somewhere. So they've obviously decided to go and axe some of their presenters. I mean, Jacob Rees-Mogg probably costs a lot of money as it is. I mean, Jacob Rees-Mogg has slowed down recently. He's gone from an MP to to not being out of an MP's job, but now being cut the GB job. I'm going to pay with that as well. And obviously, yeah, so Nigel Farage is still going well with the channel, but they're still paying critical week. I want to cut as well, but probably not in the right move anyway. Yeah, surprising changes, understandable, but yeah, I think it's cutting and whatever, Charlie. I think it's what's happened here.
I was going to say, Zach, I think I don't know if this is new. Unfortunately, Zach might have had a few technical issues there. So I did manage to catch the sentences there. But yeah, so GB News have had so many changes to presenting lineups and stuff that there's even been rumours going around. And I have to say, this rumour might sound a bit ridiculous, but it sounds like they could even be potentially going with Kay Burley, who I think is leaving Sky News. Kay Burley to GB News to make them more woke, certainly.
Charlie, I should say she's denied that. She's denied that the fact there was a report from Deadline this week that she was about to bow out from Sky News and leave the breakfast slot, and then she came on, made a statement to the Daily Mail the next day where she totally denied what was being reported in the press, that she was about to leave the show. So I wouldn't count your chickens yet on Kay Burnley. She is ruffles a few feathers, certainly. On television, I have to say, and yeah, I mean, she's not the most well-loved person in the world, I have to say. She does get a lot of criticism with her presenting style and how she does it, but yeah, I have to say as well that I think it would have been a bit of a surprise if she does go there at the moment, but it does seem right now at the moment, I don't think it's going to be happening that she will be heading off to that channel. I just can't see it at the moment.
Right, anyway, now it's time for
a
look at the change. We're going to change now to do the sports news tonight. Obviously, football over the Christmas period, Boxing Day fixtures as well. Obviously, there's some more matches this weekend as well in the Premier League. Obviously, we had the the FA Carabao Cup the other night. I think to confirm in that, I believe that Tottenham did beat Manchester United. I think it was 4-2. I'm correct.
4-3.
4-3. So Tottenham are through anyway to the semi-finals of that. I think Arsenal won against Crystal Palace the other night as well. So that's a couple of the others. But obviously matches this weekend, Villa and Man City is the early one on Saturday. Then we have West Ham, Brighton, Ipswich, Newcastle, Brentford, Forest, Crystal Palace, Arsenal again. A repeat of that one, except that one's away for Arsenal. Everton, Chelsea, Man U, Bournemouth, Fulham, Southampton, Leicester, Wolves, who, by the way, have had a new manager in Portuguese, Victor Pereira. Still no word on Southampton at the moment, following Russell Martin's sacking last week, following their heavy defeat against Tottenham, who play Liverpool at 4:30 on Sunday. And then Boxing Day, we've got loads of matches. Just a couple on the 27th, Brighton, Brentford, Arsenal, Ipswich. As well as that, Boxing Day's fixture, 12:30, will be Man City, Everton. Man City on the 12:30 kickoff for the next couple of matches. Newcastle, Villa, Forest, Tottenham, Leicester, Liverpool, or Liverpool, Leicester, Man U. So many fixtures, Zach, over this next period here for the football fans to enjoy.
Exactly. The real festive period really begins now. We're going to have at least, I think it's 3 match days over the next 10 days. So it's going to be very exhausting for all the teams involved. It is the most busiest time of year in terms of match days and fixtures taking place. No one will want to be injuring any of their players as well. But yeah, as you mentioned, Charlie, Saturday's headline by Aston Villa and Man City. There is a 5:30 game is Palace v Arsenal. And as you mentioned, the big match of the weekend is Tottenham Liverpool at 4:30. Tottenham winning 4-3 in the Carabao Cup quarter-final this evening. They will be joining Newcastle, Liverpool and Arsenal in the semi-final draw, which is probably just about to take place, as I understand it, correctly as well on that one. Yeah, so that's going to be those 4 teams in the semi-finals there as well when they meet again next year as well. And as you mentioned, boxing period as well. Lots of matches there. It's Boxing Day Bonanza where you get lots of brilliant matches. City Everton, the one as well. They're going off, and that will be the final set of games for Amazon Prime, by the way. And they're going to be showing in their Premier League coverage. They've been the broadcaster for Boxing Day for the last couple of years now. But that is coming to an end this Boxing Day weekend fixture period coming up, which is a real shame. But yeah, they're starting off with City Everton at 12:30. The pick of the 3 o'clocks for me has to be between Nottingham Forest and Spurs and Chelsea v Fulham. The 5:30, there's other matches as well. That's all can watch me on Amazon that day. 5:30 is Wolves Manchester United. 8 o'clock will be Liverpool against Leicester. Tough match for the Leicester on that one. And then 2 matches to conclude Amazon's Premier League coverage: Brighton, Brentford, and Arsenal v Ipswich Town as well, Charlie.
And there was also, I just want to say, Zach, as well, I think there was some sad news the other day from Manchester City. A fan, unfortunately, passed away at one of the matches the other day.
Yeah, I didn't see this, but I did. There was some sort of mention about this. That was rather an unfortunate turn of events where, as you mentioned, Charlie, a fan did get unfortunately there was a medical incident which resulted in a fan passing away. And my thoughts, most importantly on this one, are with the fan that passed away. May they rest in peace.
Yeah, it's horrible to hear that. It was against. It was in the derby match the other week against Manchester United. I just want to say, horrible death. We don't want to be seeing things like this happen. It's a horrible death, and I just hope that our thoughts are with the family of this victim.
Absolutely.
As I said, I'm going to review this one now very quickly. Again, I will put the fixtures up for you now. This is the next lot of match day, 17 and 18 there, as I said, all up for you now quickly to have view. There it is. And of course, plenty of matches over the festive period. So if you're sitting down Boxing Day after opening the Christmas presents up, certainly worth looking at that as well. Moving on now to the PDC World Darts Championship as well. We'll come on to F1 in a minute regarding some news from Red Bull Racing. Zach, 9-darter the other night in the first round as well. A 9-dart finish. Peter Wright winning, Gerwyn Price winning. Obviously, the early stages of the first round certainly kicking, obviously, before we go into the festive period and the later part of the tournament. Certainly some lots of matches to enjoy over at the Alexandra Palace.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have to mention the 9-darter from Christian Kist as well. That was the person, the player that scored the 9-darter in there as well. Was a really brilliant and absolutely fabulous performance up there as well. But unfortunately, Chris McKiss, excuse me, actually did lose that match, unfortunately, as well. He did get beaten by Rasma there, unfortunately, in that one as well. But right now, Michael Smith, Bully Boy, the former world champion, he's playing at the moment. He's playing against Kevin Dowitz at the moment. Let me talk about the other games that came across tonight. Really was some cracking matches. Scott Williams beating Nico Springer 3-1 in that one as well. Let's go and find some others. Nick Kenny beat Stal Bunce in really dominant fashion as well. 3-1 there as well. The other mentions I should mention is I have to say, give a shout out to Look Yin Lee and beat Chris Ladman 3-1. Incredible result there. Gabriel Clemens, really poor stuff from him. 3-1 loss to Robert Owen. Martin Lutman struggled against Nitin Kumar at first, but came from a set down and won 3-1. That's fair enough for him. Klein White, Riyad Romero to Gary, 3-0 there as well. Fair enough result. I mean, that was pretty much dominant as well. But Michael Smith currently in action as well, winning that one at the moment. And yeah, there's been some, as you mentioned, there's been some quite obvious results at the moment. Nathan Aspel win against Leonard Gates at the moment as well. That's one. Jim Williams losing against Paul and Nebrika. Mazarama winning that one, and Ricky Evans winning against Gordon Matthews as well. So yeah, that's what's happening there at the moment in terms of darts as well. One of the things that I'm looking up for as well, I should mention some of the stuff that is coming up as well, because I think it really should be mentioned as well in terms of the schedule and what's coming up as well tomorrow. Let's just do tomorrow and find that as well. Let's do so tomorrow there's 2 sessions in the afternoon. We're going to see Stephen Burton and Alex Merkis as well. Weasel Nejum against Cameron Kazman, Ian White, Sandro Exong. The afternoon session tomorrow is headlined by the second round match between Stephen Bunting and Kai Goffart. And then the evening is the return of Michael Van Gogh, and he will be taking on James Howell as well. And then there will include Mickey Mansell on there as well, Florian Hempel, William O'Connor as well on that one as well. And then Saturday, we're going to be looking forward to that one, Charlie. There are 2 second round matches in Brendan Doan and Luke Lee, Chris Dobie as well. And then in the evening one, all second round matches. But the ones I'm looking forward for, Raymond Van Barnels is in action. Danny Noppett's in action against Ryan Joyce, Damon Hetta. But Luke Littler will be back as well. He will be taking on Ryan Meikle after Ryan Meikle won against the Queen of the Palace as well. So yeah, it's a really some great bit of fixtures coming up ahead at the moment. It's 1-1 between Michael Smith and Chris and Kevin Doet so far as well. Kevin Doet, Nick. Yeah, I got it right somehow. Kevin Doet. And so it's 1-1 at the moment between those two at the moment.
Yeah, and obviously, as well, Michael Smith is in that tournament. But as I said, big matches. Peter Wright done a festive walk on the other day as well with the Grinch outfit, funny as well for Christmas. So I'm sure you're all going to be getting into that Christmas spirit very soon as well. But yes, lots of matches. Michael Van Gogh, Luke Littler played the winner of that match there as well. That one who is playing Luke Littler beat Fallon Sherrock in the first round as well. Ryan Meckey's name is. Yeah, lots of action over the weekend. Got Ryan Joyce, Martin Schindler's in action against Callum Ridds. Dirk van Dijvenbode's playing as well. 23rd will be that as well. Rob Cross against Scott Williams. Dave Chisnell versus Ricky Evans. I'd be interested to see how Martin Lutman gets on against Andrew Gilding, and also Dave Chisnell against Ricky Evans, rapid Ricky Evans, known for his fast throwing. So Who will win, Chizzy or Rapid Ricky? Certainly one to keep an eye on the stakeholders there as well. But that's PDC World Darts Championship. Can catch up more of that action during the festive period as well. It's on till New Year, so yeah, certainly be some interesting matches after we come back off the Christmas break. Moving on now to Formula One. This is what I want to talk about now. So we've had the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The off-season certainly interesting. Bombshell announcement the other day from Red Bull Racing. Sergio Perez has left the team. Now, I was very critical of him last season. However, though, it will be a sad loss for Red Bull because of what he has done there, over these last 4 seasons. I think he took 5 wins, about 27 podiums. He's had a huge amount of success. I'm not saying huge amount of success, but he's really helped the team out. He's boosted his career by going to this team. Yes, Max Verstappen, who was a 4-time world champion, had to really work hard for it this last season. And Zach, I mean, it is a shame. Obviously Liam Lawson gets promoted to the big boys team, the granddaddy team now, as they call it. Now, obviously that leaves one seat vacant at RB. Rumours are circulating that Isaac Hadjar, the Formula 2 driver, could be going in that seat as well. What's your assessment on it?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call Perez's leaving a bombshell by any chance. I mean, it just felt more and more likely that it was going to happen as the season progressed, and he was letting the team down in terms of performances. I mean, he was the sole reason why he lost that World Constructors Championship as well. He was the sole reason why the Red Bull have not been in good form, and there had to be a decision, and they had left with no choice but to let him go. As well, I think it's the right choice as well, and it's likely he's going to remain that team in an ambassador role of some sort. But I have to say, Liam Lawson being replacing him. I mean, I think that was obviously Red Bull's original plan all along, to get Liam Lawson that RB seat, to see if he was going to be a suitable candidate to get that Red Bull seat for 25. And yet they've obviously decided that he is a suitable candidate, and I think that was the plan all along, really. You have to say, as much as I don't mind him going to Red Bull, I think it's deserved. I also think there's an element of unfortunateness where Yuki Tsunoda, who has got a lot more experience in that RB and has been able to produce much better qualifying result. I mean, 6-0 against Lawson across the races Lawson started in. The fact is that Tsunoda has been a better performer, and I just feel a bit sorry for him that he's been overlooked for that Red Bull seat ahead of someone who has not got much less experience compared to Liam Lawson. So I don't mind Lawson going there, but I also feel like Red Bull has sort of made the wrong decision, even though it was their original intention to put Liam Lawson in that seat. I just feel like it was a bit of the wrong decision overall. In terms of performance-wise, when we reflect across the year, it probably was, it was not as good in terms of performance as, say, Snowden was. So I don't know. I don't think it was overall the most performance-enhancing decision that Red Bull have made.
Yeah, well, that's all the latest news on that. Now it's time to talk about some news now, Zach. There's been some news from Ukraine where at least 100 Pyongyang troops have been killed, according to the US. And obviously Putin spoke about the fact that he should have invaded Ukraine earlier during a Russian telephone marathon interview. What do you make to this news?
I mean, it's not surprised that Russia have obviously helped their dictator friends in North Korea, trying to get all the soldiers over the northwest, kill all the North Korean soldiers, and then take their lives along the way as well. And I'm afraid this is another one, another situation where, because the North Koreans have decided to suddenly interfere in other people's business, that they're going around getting their own soldiers killed in fighting the Ukraine as well. I mean, it's just devastating. The more Russia people bring into this to help them, the bigger the consequences they are for them, because they're just getting soldiers killed because they're trying to suck up to Russia, and it's just not working. And I'm afraid this is the result of it. This is the desperation that Russia do to other countries and get their soldiers as well. So yeah, it's really not surprised to see the case has been as well. It says there's about normally about 10,000 troops normally in there as well, but it looks like there's at least 30 have been killed or wounded in fights over the weekend. Who none who have previous combat experience. They've been training in Russia in their support roles as well. They've been engaged in combat in Kursk alongside Russian forces and suffered casualties, both killed and wounded. But they've been in combat a little over a week ago. So yeah, I mean that's not surprising. I think they reap what they sow. To be fair.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, I have to say. I mean, first of all, another year of war in Ukraine. Just what's happening here? There's no stalemate at all. It's still going, and you know, I'm afraid it's probably going to be a long time before this war even finishes. So, comment down below, guys, what you have to make to that. And yeah, not ideal. As well on that. Now, before we go on and do our next feature and do our little Christmas segment for this year, I'm going to play for you a song by Michael Bublé now. This Christmas song is all about when the night temperature drops at night and you're sitting by the fireplace. A night can't be helped when you sit by the fireplace and listen to this absolute amazing song that I think is one of my favourite Christmas songs by Bublé himself. This is Cold December Night. We'll see you in a few minutes' time.
Stockings are hung with care. The children sleep with one eye open. Well, now there's more than toys at stake. Cause I'm older now, but not done hoping. The twinkling of the lights, the Santa carols fill the hush. Old Saint Nick has taken flight with a heart on board, so please be careful. Each year I ask for many different things, but now I know what my heart wants you to bring. So please just fall in love with me this Christmas. There's nothing else that I will need this Christmas. I won't be left under a tree. I want something to last forever. So kiss me on this cold December night. A tree that smells of pine, a house that's filled with joy and laughter. The mistletoe says stand in line, loneliness is what I've captured. Oh, but this evening can be a holy night. It's cozy on up by the fireplace and dim those Christmas lights. So please just burn in love with me this Christmas. Nothing else that you and me this Christmas. I won't be wrapped under a tree. I want something to last forever. So kiss me on this cold December night. Call season of giving. I'm here, yours for the taking. Call it the season of giving. I'm here, I'm yours. Just fall in love with me this Christmas. Nothing else that you need this Christmas. Won't be wrapped under a tree. I want something to last forever. I don't wanna be alone tonight. I'll wear a Christmas sweater. Walk proudly through the mistletoe tonight. I want something to last forever. So kiss me Smells cold this summer night. Call it season of giving. I'm here, yours for the taking. Call it season of giving. I'm here, I'm yours.
What a beautiful song by Michael Bublé. Cold December Night. Bit of an emotional one. Zach, what did you make of that song? Certainly Bublé coming back with a classic Christmas hit there.
Yeah, that's all right. It's a nice sort of like chill song to listen to, sort of a fireside, as you sort of said as well. Yeah, it's all right actually, or just relaxing in the home. It's really good. It's a nice song.
I think it's one of my favourite Christmas songs by him, and it's an original song as well. He actually wrote the song himself, so it's not one of
Yeah,
them
cool.
old covers like Santa Baby or, you know, the Mariah Carey cover of All I Want for Christmas Is You. But of course, Bublé is definitely one of the best artists to listen to at Christmas. It's always one of my go-tos. I even listen to like Haven't Met You Yet, all none of his other songs. So huge Bublé fan, and I think certainly he is a great one for this Christmas. Now, Christmas. The whole point of this show tonight was Christmas. We spoke a little bit about Christmas, but I want to go into it now to end the show off with. Christmas, the time of the year where we get out the big gifts, you know, your Christmas jumpers, your wines, your alcohol, your Baileys, your notepads, your toys that Santa brings to you, all that kind of stuff. So, we're going to be talking tonight about some Christmas things, and also as well the Christmas important things over the Christmas period that we want to look forward to. So, I think definitely starting with films. There are lots of films that you can watch on Amazon Prime, Netflix over the Christmas period. For me, there is always a important. I kind of went over this the other week, but for me, this has to be a great option to really. Obviously, I'm going to mention all the Die Hard films: Die Hard 1, 2, 3, with Samuel L. Jackson as well. Just them generally watch a Christmas film. I watched Die Hard last year, and I love the film. Great action film. So definitely worth watching that because I think it's a great film. Bruce Willis is John McClane. In terms of some of the best Christmas films on Amazon Prime, we've got Scrooge, A Christmas Carol the Musical, Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. On Max, you've got National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase, Polar Express, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets. Some of the Harry Potter franchise actually is on there as well. Half-Blood Prince, Order of the Phoenix, Deathly Hallows Part 1. Netflix have got loads of Christmas films. Falling for Christmas, Our Little Secret, Christmas in Notting Hill. I think Jack Whitehall was in one of them. I think he done a little Christmas comedy. Our Royal Wedding, Father Christmas is Back, Snow. A very Merry Christmas, The Great British Baking Show Holidays, Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square, Mariah Carey's Merry Christmas to You All. Disney Plus might be the place to be if you want to watch some absolute Christmas classics. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. That is a classic film. Macaulay Culkin is, well, put it bluntly, if you love the original Home Alone film, Macaulay Culkin's Lost in New York, certainly having to hold them thieves off again from going in the house. Home Alone 2 is definitely a worth watch there, I think. So there's some of the other films. I'll just go back up there quickly so you can see. I forgot to load that up there as well. Claus, I Believe in Santa, as well. Disney Plus, Muppets Christmas Carol, The Grinch, Noel, Frozen, Peacock as well. Die Hard, as I said, with Bruce Willis. The 2018 version of The Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Dr. Seuss one there as well. Has some midwives. Apple TV, You've got Mariah, Christmas Magic Continues, Paramount Plus, The Smurfs Christmas, Happy Christmas. Yeah, Zach, loads of Christmas films coming up. What's your ones that you think are must watch over the Christmas period?
I have to say, I have to say, in terms of the stuff that's coming on, in terms of what's happening in Christmas movies this year. I mean, I'm normally a Netflix user, so I'm looking at stuff on Netflix. There's new stuff that Christmas that's coming along as well. That's coming this year as well. It's an anime. It's a Richard Curtis animation one. It's as well. There's the Nativity that's on its way. That's 2009 film that's on its way to Netflix as well. Hot Frosty, a new Netflix original as well. Lacey Chabot as well. In that one, Last Christmas is on its way as well. Emma Thompson, as well. Violent Night. Interesting. It's like Die Hard meets Home Alone with David Harbour in it as well. Our Little Secret. Let's show you The Holiday. Mid 2000 films on the way to Netflix. Claws as well. Nominated for Best Animated Feature. As well. That's interesting. The Christmas Chronicles. As well. And in that one, Robin, Single All the Way. Oh, there's a lot in here as well. Falling for Christmas. And Jingle Jaggle as well, Christmas Journey. That's all coming towards Netflix as well, over the Christmas period. One sort of non-Christmassy one, but coming after Boxing Day as well. I think that we should keep an eye out on as well. And really, Netflix is promoting the absolute hell of it. Is the second season of Squid Game as well, which is sort of like a Japanese game show sort of movie. But I'm really looking forward to watching that one because I love the original season and I can't wait to watch Squid Game season 2.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, Squid Game. A lot of people have been hearing me about that as well. Also, Jack Frost as well, starring Michael Keaton as a snowman. As well, Merry Gentleman, Trolls Holiday, Falling for Christmas. As well, loads of films on Netflix, and also one that's just been out recently. I heard this one's come out. Red One with Dwayne Johnson. That's the new release. Anyone watch Red One? Please comment down below, guys, what you made to that film. It's like a comedy action film, I think. Red One is. It's on Netflix. It's on Amazon Prime. I think you can watch it on there. As well, obviously Netflix got so many films on there. Just this is the time of the year. Sit back, watch a film, sit back on the couch, sit back on the bed, whatever. Or the electric blanket comes out when it's cold outside and you want to watch a film. Certainly interesting. So that is certainly films at Christmas are an absolute must. In terms of the Christmas number one this year, what is the Christmas number one going to be? Do you know what? Okay. I think also as well, guys, I just forgot to mention as well, Gavin and Stacey, the finale does return for Christmas Day as well. Gavin and Stacey will be on Strictly Come Dancing as well. Also, congratulations to Chris McCausland for winning that show the other week as well. Congratulations to him. I think he was blind, wasn't he, Chris McCausland? So he's won Strictly Come Dancing. I was a blind one and a deaf one in it. But it's amazing that they're going to inspire so many people that to show you why I'd take part. But in terms of Christmas number one, the odds are on at the moment for Wham! 1 to 16, the classic song for the 8 years this year since we lost George Michael, the lead singer of Wham!, known for hits like I'm Your Man, Freedom 90, obviously solo career, had 7 number one singles. Obviously, Last Christmas being one of the most famous songs ever. 1 to 16 on. And in second, of course, if you are a politics fan, you will know Sir Keir Starmer and the Granny Harmonies with a song about the government and winter fuel payments. That is at 12 to 1. Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas You, 33 to 1. And Bar, I don't even know what that is. That is 40 to 1. Zach, who do you think is going to be taking the Christmas number one slot this year?
I think it'll be Wham again. yeah, I just mainly looking at the charts and everything as well. I mean, yeah, okay. So obviously, Sistama and the Granny Harmers is probably incredible name, by the way. And the Granny Harmers is probably going to get a lot of iTunes downloads, but I don't think the stream will not be there to be able to compensate that. I mean, what a name! If we're going for the laughs, then that's a name and a half. But yeah, I don't think the stream wise, then there's going to be no streaming promotion for it. So I think it'll be Wham.
Wham! Last Christmas. I don't know what to say. I bet it'll be interesting to see who gets that nomination for the Christmas #1. I think there'll be a lot of people asking what that is as well. So that's certainly another thing that kind of has an interest as well. We've also had this week as well, I believe Prince William and Kate have been gifting out Christmas cards this week as well to all these people out there. So anyone who's looking forward to Christmas at the weekend, Christmas, I mean, I got my Christmas jumper on tonight as well. So certainly, we're trying to brighten the mood up for Christmas. Anyone as well, a lot of people finishing school tomorrow, ahead of the Christmas holidays as well. If anyone has a nice Christmas dinner, turkey certainly coming out where I'm working as well. Also, I heard a news story the other day about the price of the turkey going up. Turkeys for Christmas. Can I just say this, okay? This whole thing about Christmas dinner set to cost less in the supermarket. Now, Iceland have also announced that they have slashed the Christmas dinner staple as well, only for a limited time. They've claimed that the turkey breast and joint wrapped in bacon is going to be half price for the big day. Currently, 1.5 is now available at 1.5 gram. Is now available at just £6.50 when it was £13. According to this, though, according to an actual wider survey, it was said that the Christmas dinner is set to cost less at the supermarket this year. It claims that Brussels sprouts have fallen by 12%, according to this. And also, digging deeper, root vegetables have gone up. All the trimming set to cost £31.66 in 2024. Those down from last year's figure, £32.18. Rejects food price slower rate the past few years as inflation has eased, according to reports there. Zach, what did you make to this sort of study that came out the other week about the Christmas dinner prices?
Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising that they've gone up over the years. I mean, inflation's gone up as well, so obviously it's much more expensive, and obviously because of worldwide things as well. I mean, look at the numbers there. That there's been some improvement. So frozen turkey is actually down to £19.08 on average. That's actually 6% cheaper. But then you look at potatoes and carrots. I mean, that's where half the stuff where the Christmas dinner gets a bit more expensive. 26% increase in potatoes. It's now up to £1.99. For carrots, it's 69p now. But there are some areas where it's also improved. The Brussels sprouts are actually 12% cheaper. Your sage and onion stuffing mix is 3.8% cheaper. Your 6% onion gravy is cheaper. Your mince chives has gone up though by 4.8%. So the actual thing is on the main stuff like the potatoes and the carrots. That's where your Christmas dinner is a lot more expensive as well.
It's expensive, isn't it? Certainly, I don't know what to say, but anyway, it certainly will be an interesting one. I think it will be interesting how expensive how much a Christmas dinner will cost this year. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen on that one. So, yes, that is your Christmas dinner sorted out. And of course, if you're having I wonder what roast everyone's going to have at the weekend, whether it be turkey, gammon, beef, or a mixture of different meats. Please let me know. So obviously, meat is very good for you. It contains, meat contains a lot of important meat muscle ingredients. It helps your muscles, grows them up. So yeah, that is it really. Obviously now, we pretty much come towards the end of this show, I'm afraid. Obviously, we haven't done the newspapers. Do you know what? Out of the spirit of followership, out of the spirit of leadership, we will actually review the papers because we haven't actually got. I've got some time available. So I'm going to quickly review the papers tonight. To be honest with you, a lot of these papers I've looked at are all similar stories, actually. They're about a court trial, which we've discussed earlier. So we'll merge a lot of them together. The Daily Mirror goes World's Bravest Woman. Obviously, with reference into that case I mentioned earlier. Times goes that the fact that the UK Bank of England issued a warning that the UK is stagnating the economy due to a recent budget with zero growth. Andrew Bailey's highlighted as well. The Guardian goes with Giuseppe Pellicott for the Guardian. Daily Mail, the same headline. Metro. Daily Telegraph, slightly different. Prime Minister picks Lord Mandelson as the new ambassador to Washington. That's the new ambassador to the UK and US relations in light of recent statements from President Donald Trump. I goes with extra water bill hikes, 36% increase unless Labour stock fails. Express goes with the same headline on that case. The Daily Star, world's buffiest buffoon, afterlife is real. Comes to the evidence of afterlife, which can be implications and spiritual discussions. The Independent goes freedom for Aung San Suu Kyi, where Season, recognised globally significant prisoner for the democracy, remains solitary confinement in Myanmar's military regime. And the FT goes for inflation spurs BOE, banking and cautions rates despite and gloom. So kind of will link that paper, I suppose, with the Times. So Zach, lots of linking up tonight on the papers.
Yeah, I mean, all they will go for the same thing. I mean, the Mirror, the Times, the Mail, the Guardian, the Metro, and the Express as well, all go for the same really story on the brilliant and brave battle of Gelse Pelcott and the sentencing of the ex-husband as well, who and they've got the miracles of the world's bravest woman. She's not they're not wrong. They're not wrong. I think she's husband and 50 men he let abuse her, found guilty as well. One's got 20 years, the other got various amounts of sentences as well, but 50 people sent to prison. Oh, I mean, that is unbelievable, really. It's just a really horrific case as well. I wanted all society to be a witness that and that is the case. I mean, a lot of people are going to feel empowered by that, and I just think that her bravery as well. The elegant Frenchwoman Cora Steele has become a heroine to every victim of male abuse. Yeah, exactly. I mean, she's the world's strongest woman at the moment, and she's an example of how feminism should be. With her, the way she's handled everything as well. Chelsea's brave message of hope after horror as well. I'm thinking of the unrecognized victims whose stories often remain in the shadows. I want to know that we share the same fight. They absolutely do. It's a credible fight that she's done as well. So that's lots of the front papers there as well. Budget has left us with zero growth, says Bank. That's the Times as well. The interest rates held the same today, 4.75%, but not exactly with a positive message. Although there was about nearly about 3 members that voted to cut the interest rates, it was still a majority decision to keep it as it was as well. But the Andrew Bailey, the Bank of England, have warned that the UK economy is stagnating due to the recent budget. As well, the concerns about potential tax increases on that as well. The Mail goes for the same thing. Now look who really crashed in the economy. No pleasure to all make us wealthy. That's the Mail's view. Now the inflation is rising again. The bond market in turmoil, and the Bank of England says growth will slump to zero. Yeah, they're not happy about that. The Mail on that one as well. The Telegraph, PM picks Mandelson to wherever Trump. That's an interesting because he's been rumored to be going to the US for a long time, and then again he'll also debate, obviously trying to get the chancellorship of the University of Oxford, which obviously went to William Hague after that as well. But there's also an interview inside as well Chart-topping anti-Labour hit being silenced by the BBC. Well, funny enough on that one as well. I have to say, again, if the BBC mentioned the Wicked Witch was dead when Margaret Thatcher died, they'll be all up in arms about it and saying that it's an anti-conservative bashing. So I really not. I just think it's all a bit pathetic, really. It's okay when they mention Boaz. It was not this one. And there's Kemi Bowden or Jeremy Clarkson as well. Extra water bill hikes will follow 36% unless Labour kills failing watchdog. Yeah, the water bills are going up, I'm afraid. 31p a year, 36% increase as well. The money is going to fund £104 billion infrastructure to cut waste being poured into waterways as well. Government reacts speculation on Ofwat's future after ministers have lost faith. As well. Yeah, the water industry is certainly going to be in the eyes of the Labour Party, I think, as well. The Financial Times goes on the inflation thing as well, so I think we cover that. And finally, two more stories. The Star World Boffist Boffin Afterlife is real. I've swear like the Star's gone on the boffin stuff before. Claims to evidence the existence of an afterlife, which has a significant implication by scientific communities and spiritual discussions. I thought that you just go dead afterwards. I mean, I don't know if there even is an afterlife as well. And the Independent goes for the Myanmar prisoner for Aung San Suu Kyi, for her dedication to democracy, remains under solitary confinement under Myanmar's regime. This is again the Independent promoting this as well. I think they've done a lot of stories on Myanmar recently, and it's just very important to highlight this case as well. That as well, who's been stuck because she's campaigned for democracy and she's been used as a political prisoner. So yeah, that's the story there for the Independent. That's the papers, Charlie, for the 20th of December.
Just an update on the darts. Michael Smith is out of the World Darts Championship.
I know.
He lost against Kevin Doe. Zach, what's your take on that?
Stunning result, isn't it? I was watching that and it went to a tiebreaker with 2-2. And then Kevin, oh wow, Kevin, incredible job by him. I mean, he looked a bit shaky at times, but man, Michael Smith out. What a result in that one, Charlie. What a result.
And also, I forgot to do Plank of the Week as well. Zach, what's your Plank of the Week this week?
Plank of the Week. Oh, tricky one for me this week. I don't know really what's been going on. The ex-husband of Geesey. Definitely Plank of the Week. For being part of that awful abuse of that lovely woman who managed to get 50 people into prison now. Thank goodness for her, if anything. The ex-husband is the Plank of the Week for me.
My Plank of the Week is the European governments. French government and German governments are falling apart so quickly. So yeah, that's really our Planks of the Week. And that is it for the Tonight Show podcast. I just want to say to everybody on this show, have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Obviously, though, we will be back before the end of the New Year period. We're going to have another show with the end of year highlights. Obviously, though, guys, we will be back for another roundup of the new year as well. So stay tuned for that. But obviously, this will be the last show before Christmas. I can just confirm your Christmas date is next Wednesday. So yes, we'll be spending it with our families. I'm sure anyone will enjoy Christmas. Send us great gifts. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope everyone gets lots of great gifts, whether it's alcohol, toys, washing up liquid, deodorant, whatever you want to get. The good gifts of Christmas. And enjoy the films as well. Enjoy Gavin and Stacey, Bullseye, coming back with Freddie Flintoff, and much more. So yes, certainly going to be interesting over this festive period. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care. This is Tonight Show podcast with me, Charlie and Zach. Take care. And good night.